Good afternoon, Cedarfield family. Hope everyone is doing well on this fine April 14th. Our format for this live chat today is very simple. Yours truly will talk a little bit about the Cedarfield COVID-19 situation, talk a little bit about our vaccine distribution and our evolving preparedness plan. David Stewart is here to talk about dining services, and then I'll come back after David and just have a couple other operational updates for residents, team members, and families, Pinnacle Living or Pinnacle Advantage members that are also listening. We'll circle through some frequently asked questions, and then Trish will come and, Trish Carter that is, and provide us some spiritual well-being. So as I had said on the last live chat, we are back to using the 7-day positivity rate to help guide our evolving preparedness plan and to use that metric and the trends, more importantly, of that metric to determine whether or not we should start resting of where our plan is at, adding things to the plan, or loosening up some restrictions. So right now, as we're here on this live chat at 3 o'clock, the positivity rate for the Commonwealth did not change from last week. It still sits at 6.6. Henrico County is a little bit different. A month ago, we were at 5.8. Last week, we were at 7.1, and now today it's up to 7.8%, the 7-day positivity rate. So that trend is increasing. So my words of wisdom to everyone that is listening is to use that metric as a caution, a real sincere caution about what are you doing, or do you have COVID-19 fatigue, or are relaxing with wearing masks and washing hands and staying socially distant from folks, and just raising up your hands and saying, oh, every 30% of the population's vaccinated, and therefore we can relax a little bit? Or are you the type that is saying, you know what, we're still in the middle of a global pandemic, and we need to take all of precautions that our public health, preventative health measures are suggesting in order to protect ourselves and protect everyone around us? I am choosing the latter. I'm still wearing double masks. I carry around with me my hand sanitizer, and I try my best to stay socially distant from folks. The guidance does say if you know that the people that you're in contact with are vaccinated, that you can, and particularly outside, you can loosen those up a little bit. So, but I am very cautious around of using those Cedarfield forward metrics and values in order to protect myself. So hopefully everyone is still doing the same here at Cedarfield. Let's use the plan that we've published last week. We're going to come out with a new plan next week of some updates. But the one that we posted over a week and a half ago, can we all please just keep that plan on our coffee table and refer to it often and comply with where we're at to keep people safe? We've been doing a great job over these last 6 to 8 weeks. Our dashboard right now is green, whether we are in independent living, main building, the cottages, anywhere in the health services side of the community. The dashboard is completely green at this point. No COVID cases. We have no tests that are pending, and no one's under quarantine and or restricted to come to work. Speaking of work, part of our Cedarfield Evolving Preparedness Plan over the last few weeks took a little twist which I have didn't really communicate it with folks. I'm just making this announcement now. Maybe this will help provide a little a safer of an environment for those of you that are concerned about people who are unvaccinated. We made the decision to change our team member policy. And so if a team member has chosen not to be vaccinated by Pfizer, Moderna, or J&J, then we are now doing weekly testing on those team members and those private duty personnel that are coming to the community. So we have been doing that for a little while, and so far we have 0 tests that have come up positive. Hopefully that gives families and residents another level of assurance of some steps that management's taking in order to protect the people who live here. As I just said, the Cedarfield Forward Plan was published. The next version of it was published a week and a half ago. We're on a pause this week. We don't have another publication, but we do intend to meet with the COVID-19 preparedness plan team next Monday, look at the latest guidance from Medicare, from the CDC, from the governor, from the Department of Labor, from OSHA, and from one other agency that we have responsibility to. Department of Social Services. We're going to look at all that guidance, the latest guidance that they have published over the last week and a half, and see if our plan here at Cedarfield complies with all of those agencies, and or do we have to make any tweaks to the plan. So, speaking of the plan, just again a word of caution to the guests that are coming. Thank you for complying with what you have done over this last week. We are open 7 days a week now, from 9 to 9. And really the guests have been very cooperative, especially at the Gatehouse, as we have a new protocol at the Gatehouse. Just want to emphasize again that right now our plan does not call for guests congregating in the common space and or attending breakfast, lunch, or dinner with residents in any one of our restaurants. We're not just there quite yet. Hopefully things continue to trend positively, and that might be something that we peel back here at the end of the month or in the beginning of May. And David will talk a little bit more about dining services here in a second. COVID-19 vaccine distribution. I'm sure everyone at this point has heard about the pause of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and so we have complied with that mandate. Not really a mandate, but we've complied with that. We have also put our clinic on pause. We did have 17 people ready to go through that clinic. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to hear the experts about the pause and listening to Dr. Fauci. It's really a very slim percentage, although our hearts go out to the folks that have blood clots and or the 2 people who have passed away. Our hearts do go out to them. The percentage compared to the number of people who have actually received Johnson & Johnson, our public health officials just got off the phone with the epidemiologists. They still really do believe that the J&J vaccine is very safe, and we should, in a matter of days, see that vaccine clinics kick back up again. So once that happens, then we will reschedule our clinics accordingly. If you are a resident that lives here at Cedarfield, if you're a future resident here in the next 3 or 4 months, and if you are a Pinnacle Advantage member, you do have access to this J&J clinic that we will host at a date that we will publish hopefully next week. So contact Ann Hopper if you are one of a resident Pinnacle Advantage member and or a future resident. If you are a team member listening, and wish to receive the vaccine, please contact Connie McGowan, our infection control specialist. Okay, David Stewart's here to talk a little bit about dining services.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be with you today. I'm David Stewart, and I'm here representing the dining services team to provide you a few updates on our service to you. As most of you know, last Monday, April 5th, we began to roll back some of our COVID protocols with regard to dining, and we reintroduced the takeout program and reallocated some of those delivered meals team members back to the dining room so we could accept greater number of reservations. Overwhelmingly, what we heard from residents and team members was how great it was to have a semblance of normalcy. Residents could sit and have dinner with their friends. Our team members are back to doing what they used to do and what they're good at, and it's been truly a pleasure to see everybody in the dining room, see faces without masks, and to be able to have more people congregating. It's been very pleasant. As some of the people who were desiring takeout learned on Monday, we had some phone challenges, but our phone guy was Johnny on the spot, and he remedied most of those situations very, very quickly, and we thank you, Kenny, for that. And the rest of the week went swimmingly. I don't believe we filled up on takeouts on any given day, and things went quite well. Towards the end of the week, we had another technology faux pas, and then our point-of-sale computer system decided to start sending tickets the wrong way. And unfortunately, we didn't have a Kenny here to fix that. Our fellow who deals with our point of sale is in Canada, and his name's Elon, and he's Johnny on the spot, but we have to do things via the phone with him. And I think we have things worked out with that, but it certainly did cause some challenges when orders weren't printing, and they weren't lost, they were just logged up in the computer. So I think we got that at hand now too. So we're glad to see everybody. We're learning where people want to go. We had a big night in the cafe last night, so we're trying to figure out where our resources are best allocated so we can learn what people want. We have a lot of new faces on campus in the last year, and those people are kind of experimenting and seeing where they like to go and what they enjoy, and we are as well. So it's good to see all the new people, meet all the new people, and it'll help us as we go down the road and determining where to allocate our resources. One thing I will add is that the feedback that you've been providing is very, very helpful. It's good to hear from our residents what they're enjoying. We have heard from a few people some things that didn't go as well as they should have, and we appreciate that feedback as well. Please know the team is getting reacclimated to our old dining plan, and then also we have quite a number of new faces too. We are still recruiting. We still have some vacancies, but that's mostly due to the staffing market, and that's something that's going on across the country, and there's nothing we can do about it. We have a good, solid team. We do have a few openings, but please know the team is dedicated, and we hope to be able to layer in more services here in the near future. And I thank you for your feedback. I thank you for your patience as we move through this together. If you have any issues at all, please speak to one of the managers, email me, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So I was over in the household building not too long ago, and I came across this beautiful blue bag. I asked Renee, I said, what is in this bag? Did we miss something giving out these bags yesterday? And Renee said to me, oh no, Michael, these are for the residents tomorrow for the the touring and the presentation that the residents will experience tomorrow. So I thought to myself, wow, I didn't even know about this bag. So I took a peek inside and I got out there's a brochure that everyone will receive based on the stations that you'll learn about that comport with the household model. And then I went down further in the bag and I said, oh, wow, a dessert. There is a dessert from Diane and Hin, our very own pastry chefs that have prepared over 400 of these delightful desserts that every resident will receive if you come to the grand opening tomorrow. So we do have 400 of these bags ready to go. And so far, to my count, I think we have 280 people signed up to come over. So this is my last push. If you would like to receive a delicious dessert tomorrow evening made by our own pastry chefs, the sign-up binder is still out by the cubby boxes. There's still availability. The team has put together a wonderful presentation for the residents, not just to see the building. The building is one of 4 legs of a table that Culture Change stands on. And so the team is so excited to present to you the other 3 legs to the Culture Change model that we have been aspiring to achieve. It's a journey, not a destination, ever since, as I said yesterday, ever since Nancy brought the concept back from a conference back in 2013 to Pinnacle Living in Cedarfield. We've been working on it, and we will continue to work on it for a long, long time. But that 4-legged stool really has to do with the physical environment, which now we have a beautiful place to showcase household. The second is the programming piece, and so when you're in the building tomorrow, you're going to see 2 new different programs that Morning Glory Avenue is aspiring to achieve. The third piece has to do with organizational redesign, and so we have been working hard at eliminating a top-down bureaucratic decision-making model that really many retirement communities have in the country, and get back to the residents making decisions about their own lives. And then coupled with the fourth leg to the stool has to do with the interpersonal relationships between not only the nurses and the CNAs, but we have a concept called extended family, where there's team members outside of health services that are part of certain households and neighborhoods, and they have different roles and functions to support the household. So when you're on tour tomorrow, you will see all of that being presented by the health services team, and you'll be able to read it in your brochure that you'll be given. So one big thing for me that we are trying to change here at Cedarfield and have been doing at Pinnacle Living for the last 5 years is to change vocabulary. Vocabulary is really important when we're in a culture change environment. So last week we talked about eliminating the term nursing home from our vocabulary, and we are inserting household in its place. Just one other one I would just add. Where'd that brochure go? Typically, some organizations refer to the place where residents live as units, and so we've eliminated that terminology from our vocabulary. And very simply, a resident that lives in the health center, the household, we have inserted the very common, this is common sense here, the term apartment instead of I live in a unit. So in your brochure tomorrow, for those of you that attend, on the brochure it talks about old words that we're trying to truncate and new words that we're all trying to or phrases that we're trying to use in its place. So, rain or shine, the event is tomorrow for the residents. It'll start at 9 o'clock. There will be shuttles running from 8:45 to 3:15. And I am just so incredibly excited for the residents to see this building. It will truly transform how long-term care is viewed in the city of Richmond, in our county. And by having this building, we are really, one more transformative step involved in a global movement of person-centered care. So, I did just mention Morning Glory Avenue. For those of you that have not heard, our memory support area, otherwise known as Sunshine Plaza. Some people refer to it as memory care. Some people refer to it as special care because it was called special care 25 years ago. It's when we opened the doors. The residents have spoken, and the team members that work in there, residents that live in there, they have changed their name, and their new name now is Morning Glory Avenue. And so we've begun a communication plan around that rebranding. So that's all great news. So, with one journey ending, another journey begins. So we have concluded the construction of the household building, and now we're moving into phase 6 of our master plan expansion, which has to do with the renovation piece to the main building, including all of the areas in health services. We just received the permit yesterday to start the renovation in the health services area. So those of you that are familiar with the community, where administration used to be on the 4th floor in the healthcare area, that particular piece to the building and the assisted living underneath it, we have started today the renovation of that area, along with the assisted living dining room on the 3rd floor. So all that is just great news. Florence, are you here to provide spiritual well-being and wellness and lifestyle, all wrapped in weapon one? Okay. And are you going to? Did I see you have a copy of this? Are you going to refer to it, or you are? Okay, good. I'll save the great news for you. In terms of some capital projects, we have concluded the asphalt project. Everyone seems pretty happy with the product, the quality, and the workmanship that the A1 asphalt provided. And so just want to thank everybody for patting those folks on the back. They really appreciated all the residents coming out and thanking them for repaving the property. The most frequently asked question that Renee and I receive in the administration suite is, why aren't we striping down the court and the lane and near the main building with double yellow lines? The answer for me is quite simple. After consulting with the A1 asphalt consultant, we typically don't line in neighborhoods. I know I don't have any double lines in my neighborhood. I did survey several people over the last 2 weeks. In the neighborhoods themselves, we don't typically line, and that's the reason we've chosen not to provide double lines around the community, except on the Cedarfield Parkway, where people are permitted to drive over 25 miles an hour. Okay, Florence. Oh, one more thing for me, and then Florence is going to take it away. If anybody is interested, we were talking over the last several weeks about bird feeders and policy to prevent unwanted guests, rodents on the property. If anybody would like to see a copy, I know many people that aren't interested in this topic, but there are some that are passionate about it. I have a memo at the administration suite if anybody wants to stop by and pick up the do's and don'ts around feeding birds and or feral cats, etc., taking care of trash, taking care of our shared space here at Cedarfield. please feel free to come down and pick up a memo. Okay, Florence is going to take us away.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Florence Brooks, Director of Lifestyles and Wellness here at Cedarfield. Thank you for tuning in. I have a few things I want to share with you on behalf of Lifestyles and Wellness. The first is, if you're a new resident who moved in since February 2020 up until now, you should have received an invitation to our new resident orientation, which will be held in the Wellness Building this coming Monday. We have 2 different groups, and you've been assigned to a group. We're looking forward to our new residents coming to meet team members and providing team members an opportunity to meet you so you can learn a little bit more about the different opportunities and services provided through the Lifestyles and Wellness Department. You'll meet people from the clinic, from ancillary services, from the programming team, from the arts, and from the fitness, as well as spiritualities. There's a lot of different groups to tap into, and we look forward to having that opportunity with you this coming Monday. Secondly, I want you to be aware that a steering committee is in motion working on our Touchtown application, which includes the Channel 970, as well as the resources available to you through the My Cedarfield app, particularly for Pathways to Wellness. We're working at improving and communicating what's available to you in a better fashion. So we have residents and team members that are serving on those subcommittees. We plan to be working on this over a series of months, but look for those applications to improve so we can communicate with you and with our community in a better fashion. Thirdly, I hope you've noticed our Informer continues to just get better and better. I'm so thankful to the team who's working on this, working on content, working on communicating with you in a way that's engaging to make you aware of the many opportunities available for you to plug into trips, to entertainment, to classes, to special programs. So be sure you check out your Informer. We had great success for the month of April with our new sign-up process, and we'll continue with that moving into May, and we'll continue to be fine-tuning this Informer publication. Thank you so much for those who've helped with both of those projects. I also want you to be aware to be looking for soon communication on the Faces of Cedarfield project. Faces of Cedarfield is a joint project that is taking place between the Scholarship Committee, the Arts Council, as well as Sally Ayers, a Cedarfield resident. Faces of Cedarfield, this project is designed to highlight different people in the community as well as raise funds for the scholarship project. You'll be receiving a brochure shortly, and in that brochure you'll find out information about how you could commission a portrait for yourself or for a family member, and the portraits will be available and will be part of a exhibit that will be shown in November. This brochure will have a lot more information about it, but we're particularly grateful to Sally for being willing to share her talent with us. In fact, the cover sketch is a sketch that Sally did of Grant Thomas, who is a Cedarfield team member, and it's one example of what to expect from being engaged by this project. So be looking for information on that, and we hope that you'll take advantage of that. Finally, I hope that you've been outside. I know there's a lot of pollen, but I hope that you can find a time of day to get out and to walk the grounds, or if you're not able to walk the grounds, to have someone assist you to get outside. It is just beautiful as things come to life, as spring has sprung here at Cedarfield. One of the continued gifts available to those who live and work in this community is truly a place of beauty. I think that beauty is one of the signs, one of the ways that God's grace is made known to us. And I hope that you will get outside and just explore and see the many beautiful places and the gardens that are available for residents to see. Of course, there will be a garden day in May that you'll be receiving more information on as well to plug into. But in the meantime, I hope that you'll just enjoy this gift of creation that's available for you to see. Michael, are there other questions?
There's no questions that have come in. And the only thing I was going to plug was the 25th anniversary of the Garden Day in May.
That day?
Oh, she did? Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. It doesn't look like any questions have rolled in, so we'll wrap up. I want to wrap up our time this afternoon with a story. Perhaps some of you know that one of the best-selling jazz albums of all times was played on a very broken piano. It was played by artist Keith Jarrett. Jarrett, as you may know, had a long and successful career as a jazz pianist and composer, and in January of 1975, at the age of 29, he was already famous worldwide, having played mostly in quartets with some of the world's greatest jazz musicians. Around that time, he embarked on a solo piano career, and he was known as one who treated audiences to great music and regular doses of improvisation. He would jump around in just crazy keyboard activity as he entertained as well as created beautiful music for his audiences. His fans loved him for this pageantry and performance, and he was particularly adored in Germany, and he was hired to play a concert there. On this particular date, only hours before the performance, it was discovered that the piano for the concert was broken. It was too small, for one thing, for the venue. Some of the piano keys did not work. Some of the pedals stuck. It was out of tune. You might wonder how that happened. Well, that's another story in and of itself. But the long and short of it is it was less than ideal instrument to work with. So what did Jarrett do? Well, he was certainly had traveled a long way. He was dealing with some back pain. He was known as being a bit of a perfectionist. In fact, someone said, I had read that he would have concert goers have suck on cough drops and things so they would be quiet while they listened to him perform. But on this particular occasion, after a little bit of hemming and hawing, Jarrett actually decided to go through with the concert. It's said that for over an hour, in front of an audience of 1,400 people, he put on what has become known as a legendary show. How did he do it? Well, he avoided the bad keys and focused on the good ones. He pounded out riffs on the lower bass keys to make up for the instrument's smaller size. He adapted. He sweated. He jumped up and down as he was accustomed to. And the result was the album that he produced from that concert sold 3.5 million copies and went on to become not only the best-selling solo album in jazz history, but one of, if not the best-selling solo piano album of all time. Basically, he made good music from a bad instrument. He faced adversity, and he dealt with it. He could have given up. He could have bailed. He could have said, this is impossible. But he didn't. He had something inside him that inspired him to work with what he had. And what did he have? He had imagination. He certainly had resilience. He had determination, maybe even curiosity to see what in fact he could do with this, and a lot of creativity. 1,400 people bought tickets to listen to him, and they were not disappointed. It made me wonder when I read his story what you and I might do the next time we're faced with what might seem like an impossible situation. Maybe we too could use a bit of imagination, some resilience, some determination and curiosity and creativity. All these things together might make a difference. But regardless, perhaps it'd be helpful for us all to remember that beautiful music can still come from broken pianos. Blessings to each of you as you continue this beautiful and unpredictable journey of life. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.